I'm pretty jazzed for today's project because I get to do 3 of my most favorite things. I get to play with guns, I get to do some arts and crafts, and finally I get to film. I'm very passionate about filming. It's one of my most favorite things to do. But not only that, I get to be in front of the lens this time. So typically I'm behind it filming. It's been pretty cool because I get to be in front of it today. But anyway, I've never stippled a gun before. This is my first time doing it, and I'm going to go over what supplies I've learned to utilize for this project and the steps and how to do it. So once again, I've never done this before. I'm not a subject matter expert on this, so everything that you take from this video, take lightly. I've got a list of supplies that were recommended, as well as a list of procedures and how most people have done it in the way that I like it. So I'm not really too sure as to what the texture is called, but I'm gonna call it the sandpaper texture. Sure, we'll go with that because that's what it kind of looks like. It's very fine grain type of texture, I guess you would say, that I'm gonna be going for with this. It's not gonna be real heavy, real deep texture at all. But anyway, let's get into what's needed for this project. So the first thing, of course, is your Glock, because no other weapon system matters. You want to make sure that weapon system is clear. And then, of course, you want to disassemble this thing, take the slide off, take all the trigger assembly out, all that fun stuff, which I will do later on in the video. The next item you will need is a mask. So I went a bit overboard on the mask. My buddy Jason recommended this because when you're stippling, all the smoke that comes up from the gun, you don't want those particles and all that fun stuff in your lungs. The next item you will need is a wood burning tool. This is a Weller standard duty 25 watt up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit wood burning tool. The next list of items that you will need for this project is sandpaper. So I have a 80 grit, 120 grit, and 220 grit here. The other item you will need is this pencil thing. It's flat and it's used for finer sanding at certain points. I'll show you guys later on in the video. And last but not least, it's crucial that you have this. This final item you will need throughout the duration of your project. So take note. You must have Sour Punch straws. It's pivotal. You need these, so make sure you get them. Okay, so those are all the items you'll need for this project. I will put a list in the description below. You guys can check that out. And everything was purchased at Home Depot. All this stuff I got for like under 50 bucks. So I also went a bit overboard with it all. So you guys can pick and choose what you want that'll fit your budget. But generally, this is what I got. But anyway, I'm gonna get my weapon system stripped down and put into this vise so you guys can see what we're gonna do next. Alright guys, so this is the part where you're going to put the frame of your Glock inside the vise. I'm using a towel here to kind of just add some protection on the outside of it so I don't get any weird cosmetic blemishes. You're going to tighten it down just to the point where it's not going to move. You don't want to tighten it down super tight where it's going to break the frame because, you know, we don't want that. Then you're going to grab your 80 grit sandpaper. From here, you're going to get the scissors that you have and you're going to cut a 1-inch strip, and with that 1-inch strip, that's what you're going to basically utilize to be a belt, and you're going to sand it back and forth along the back strap of your Glock, as you can see here. So now I'm hitting the right side, just sanding it down, and then I'm flipping it over to the other side and sanding the left side down. You want to be sure that you're sanding it down evenly throughout this entire process. But as you can see here, it's like I'm really going from all different angles, and left and right, up and down. Now this portion here, getting the 220 grit now. So I've gotten most of the grip on the back off, and now we're just kind of like fine tuning it, getting it just smoother and smoother. The whole point is to really get it as smooth as possible. And then of course you jump over to the 120 grit, and this is basically polishing it off. Little update on what it looks like at that point. Now I'm going to flip it on over, going to tighten it down. Of course not extremely tight to where it's going to break the frame. Be very cognizant of that. Then you're going to cut a centimeter strip so that way it can fit in between the little finger grooves there on the Glock. Now this is a Gen 3, so if you have a Gen 5, I believe there is no finger grooves, or at least I don't think they are. So you won't need to really worry about the centimeter length width strip. You could just make it as thick as you want. Now as you can see here in the video, I'm just kind of adjusting it, hitting it from a different angle. You can basically sand this down in whichever angle you want. These are just angles that I decided to sand it down with because it was easiest for me. Don't forget the sour punch straws. You definitely need those. They keep you very, very focused throughout this process, and you need to sustain focus. As you can see here, oh yeah, so of course throughout this process you're also going to continue to do the 80 grit, the 220, and the 120. You're going to use all those different grits throughout the process. So as you can see here, now I'm going to hit the side of the Glock, and this is just me hand sanding it now on one side. This is the right side, so the Glock symbol isn't on this side, so I'm just really sanding it down, not really too worried about trying to hit any symbols, because of course there isn't one on this side. But once you get over to the left side of the Glock, there it is. You see the little Glock symbol. Now the way I was able to sand around it was with that little pencil that I described in the beginning of the video. I got that little centimeter strip there, folded it over, and I'm just sanding around it. It makes it a lot easier. It takes some time, but it works. Now from here, I am getting on the mask because I am getting ready to stipple. The prepping phase is completely over. I'm done sanding, thank God. And now the stippling begins. So as you can see here, there's a little marking on my Glock. I used a pencil to make a general outline as to where I wanted to put the outline of the stipple. And this is where I really got the taste of what it was like to stipple for the first time. It burns very easily. So right here, I'm just kind of sporadically dabbing it. I'm not even really pushing too hard, and I'm just dabbing it all over the place. And here's a little update of what it looks like at that point in time. I'm just kind of showing off what it looks like. And here's a better example of me just kind of sporadically dabbing it all over the place. Now I'm not pushing hard, and you guys will notice when you start to stipple for the first time, you'll make that first dot as you're beginning the outlines, and you go, oh wow, I don't really need to push that hard. So you're just gonna lightly dab it, and you'll get used to it as you go on. But anyway, and here's the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, of course you can comment below. Please like the video, and if you're able to, please share it as well. Once again, I'm Joseph Watanabe, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks.